There are three issues on which I would like to solicit input from the participants. Number one, I feel the greatest disservice to the cause of social audit, which is essentially a process that would empower the poor, because it is in the social audit that the poor for the first time would get to know what does it mean to access the information. They are able to lay their hands on the muster roll. They are able to feel that right really realizing. It is in that social audit for the first time poor are able to really see how to get the government officials accountable to them. They are really seeing it happening. And it is the social audit that brings in a lot of input to the departments to continuously reform. That's why I say that social audit done in the manner in which it has to be done is a process that would surely and assuredly empower the poor. So the disservice to this cause of empowerment of the poor is calling anything that is happening in the name of social audit as a social audit and giving government stamp, official stamp to it is the greatest disservice to the cause of empowerment of the poor and to the cause of the social audit. So my question to you, on which I would like you to deliberate on, would be, how do we put an end to it? Today it is happening, as Soumya has pointed out in her presentation, that every panchayat in this country has done the social audit and Government of India's official stamp to it is there.
10 times.
10 times.
But they have not done it.
Yeah.
On paper, they've done it 10 times.
On paper. So my point is, how do we equip Government of India? How do we empower Government of India to really call spade a spade? To really put in place a system where they are able to tell a state that what you are doing is not social audit, you have to do it differently. So that is my first question. How do we make Government of India take this responsibility? What does that mean for Government of India to do it in respect of all the states, so that this disservice of calling everything that is happening only on the paper as a social audit, we can put an end to it? That is one. The second question I would like to pose, on which again I would like you to give your considered views, would be, would you all expect that should we leave it to the state to gain this kind of a conviction on the social audit and find their own time frame to do it, or should we expect Government of India to play a proactive role, to play a role to facilitate the social audit to happen by having a national level resource center or a national social audit society which would go to every state, have a dialogue with that state, explain to them how a social audit has to be done, and if the state is showing interest, offer support to the state to go about doing it. So would you all recommend an initiative of that kind to be undertaken by Government of India to facilitate social auditing by forging this kind of a partnership with the states, and also providing funding directly to the social audit units of the states so that they can become independent, as brought out by Mr. Subramaniam in his beautiful analytical note, where he has clearly analyzed that after Andhra experiment, we all thought, sitting in the National Advisory Council, that drawing lessons from Andhra, framing certain rules and getting the Government of India notify those rules is good enough to kickstart the social audit process in every state. Arunaji and myself and others, we spent a lot of time in Delhi to make that happen. Even after that has happened, one is not really confident to say that the real social audit, the kind of a process that is required, is happening in the states. That means something more than notifying the rules is needed. Whether that could be this, where central government takes the responsibility and then sets up a national level unit and then dialogues with the states and provides fund directly to the states so that the unit in the state will function independently. What is important is that unit in the state has to function independently. If there is one strength that AP unit has got, which has enabled it to do what they have been able to do, is that the unit from day one was independent. Though state government was providing fund, it was allowed to really function independently. So this is my second question, as how do we expect central government to provide that kind of a facilitating role? My third question would be, again, since there is a participation from all the states, would be this kind of an arrangement where central government puts in place a national society, dialogues with the states, provides hand-holding support, whether this arrangement would run the risk of states not owning the process. Ideally, what is really ideal is, given the rules notified by Government of India, if every state has been able to notify, has been able to own the process, develop the conviction and put in place mechanisms and own the processes, that would have been ideal. Since that is not happening in the way which we all would like it to happen, this kind of a central government directing it, will that compromise the state's ownership? On these 3 points, I would like the participants to give your considered views. As Mr. Vijayanand has said, this is a kind of a last round of our discussions to form up our ideas as how to really replicate AP's initiatives across the country. Thank you.